Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here. The Pacific War is here, and wow, what an experience. Definitely something that Battlefield 5 needed so badly, and now it's here, and it's kind of surreal, and at the same time, there's so much to talk about. A lot of good, some bad. There's a lot really to deconstruct about this new update into the game, and I want to concentrate on this video in Iwo Jima, or Iwo Jima as we pronounce it in English, which is the Battle of Iwo Jima. It's a classic battle of World War II. It's a historical battle that is so important for the Americans in the Pacific Front, and definitely is represented in this video game in a definitely is very surreal. It's a very realistic way. So in this video, I'm going to break down the good and the bad, the things that I really like and the things that in my opinion need some improvement. So stay tuned. The good. The first thing that comes to mind is definitely when you're playing this game is how gorgeous it is. This map is really beautiful. DICE has done a fantastic job in really bringing this historical side to life, and it is gorgeous. There's an eerie, spooky feeling when you're disembarking for the first time, where your feet are touching the sand, and when you have to take the beach, the first section. Definitely, it's just an experience that you have to live on. And the first thing that came to mind was, I was thinking about the people that were there, the actual people that were in the physical battle, and what was going through their minds. The fear, the stamina. I would say the adrenaline just pumping everywhere. I feel that this is DICE has done a fantastic job recreating that feeling, and the sound is perfect. I like the sound, the music that goes along with it, everything. It's just an experience, and definitely DICE again has done a fantastic job, making you feel like you are part of it. Another great thing about the game is how smartly designed is. One of the, I would say, the biggest complaints from a lot of players, a lot of, in this case, Battlefield players, is the fact that many of the maps in Battlefield 5 are really a bit cumbersome at times. But here, it's so smartly designed. Everything is an uphill battle. You are taking, from the moment that you are landing at the beach, you have to take that first section. Then you have to go to the lookout over the beach. That's the second section. Then the third section is the hill in between the beach and Mount Suribachi. And then there's the next section where you have as at the feet of the volcano. And then the one before last is the one inside the volcano, which is definitely a choke point because you are inside the volcano. There's a lot of tunnels and it can get really chaotic, but in a really fun way. And then the last section, which is at the top of Mount Suribachi. It is an amazing experience. You have to go uphill battle if you, of course, are attacking as the Americans, or if you're defending as the Japanese. The experience is amazing. Definitely, I find it that it was smartly designed. I never felt like in other maps in Battlefield that I felt that everything was kind of stuck in the middle and you feel like you're in this choke points, unable to really take over. It's definitely designed in a way that really makes it fast paced. So it definitely benefits attackers more than defenders, but also it gives a well-trained team of defenders opportunities for them to really hold their fort, and sometimes to their advantage. Now, the new weapons that are given with this new update, from the moment that you start the update, they're free for all players. You don't have to unlock them. They're just great weapons. Sometimes you get some weapons in Battlefield that are really not that great, but it's good that you get new weapons and you can try out, and some are better than others. But I feel that all these weapons that were provided with this update are amazing in their own right. They are fantastic. You have, of course, the assault class. You have the M1 Garand, which is an iconic weapon. I think the most wanted from all the weapons on Battlefield. This is the one that people wanted the most. And man, it's an amazing weapon. It is just fantastic. It's kind of overpowered in some ways, but it is good and it is fun. And this is what really gaming is all about. It's about really having an experience. And the M1 Garand is the perfect all-around weapon, a semi-automatic rifle that can be used on mid-range, even to high range. You can use in all different formats. You can change and optimize to your liking, and I really like that. But you also have the Japanese Type 100 SMG for the medic class. Fantastic. Love the rate of fire on this one. Definitely a good SMG. You also have the M1919A6 MMG, which is the Browning machine gun. It needs to be bipoded, but man, it's such a killer weapon. And man, if you optimize it properly, you can really use it for for defense in a really fantastic way. The Recon class gets the Type 99 Arisaka bolt action rifle, which I can tell you one thing I really enjoy a lot. It's definitely a great weapon, not different than others, but I found to be very I don't know, I find it a delight. I really enjoy it, and this game really gives the opportunity for mid-range sniping in a good way, whether attacking or defending. Also, there are other weapons that are also provided through the chapter rewards. You got the jungle carbine for the medic class. You got the Type 94 sidearm, which is a Japanese sidearm. You got the Model 27 revolver by Smith & Wesson. Those are great weapons, and definitely you can unlock them as you progress through the different chapter, and that's good. I really it's kind of like the chapter rewards that you found in Black Ops 4, which is an interesting new take into it. So the more you play, you can unlock them, or you can actually also buy your way in. You can just pay for it, which I'm not the type of person that's going to do that, but the option is there if you don't have the time to really put the effort into trying to unlock all of this and make points. But also you get the M2 flamethrower and you get the katana, and those are pickup weapons that they're scattered throughout the map. And man, I didn't expect this to be so so fun. The flamethrower really gives new tools for attack and also for defense. The katana is super fun, and definitely I didn't know that I would like him so much. You can say that it might be a bit gimmicky, particularly the katana, but it feels good and definitely adds a level of fun to the game that is different, and I really like that part. One weapon that really comes in handy is the Fliegerfaust air rocket launcher. It is a fantastic tool in your arsenal, particularly when you have to defend against those, pesky planes that are all over the place, throwing bombs and really destroying your team. And man, they're really overpowered. Yes, they are, but they're fun to play, and we needed something like this because a lot of people, they really take advantage of the weapons to the point that they can racket a lot of points. If you know how to fly well, and you kind of like know how to do it, you can really racket a lot of points, and there's not much defense mechanisms against it. Well, now it is there, and I think this is one of the funnest things I have done in Battlefield in quite some time. The new vehicles also add another layer of realism to the game, which I really like the M4 Sherman, the Type 97 Japanese tank. All of them are really great. I really like that. You got the LVT, the Kami amphibious tank. You got the Dingy, to pretty much used to disembarking onto the beach. There's the MB Jeep, the Type 95 vehicle. All fantastic, but I think the fact of the planes, in this case the F4U Corsair and the Japanese Zero fighters, are probably some of the ones that people love the most. But one that really caught my attention, I think is a great addition, is the new reinforcement rocket barrage tanks, like the Kaliup and the Chiha. Man, I didn't know that I would like him that much and hate him as much as well, because definitely they're fantastic. They're great for attack and also for defense. But I don't know, I really like him. If people know how to use them properly, definitely becomes an experience with them, and definitely adds this chaos that in this case Battlefield is known for. Well, now it's time to talk about the bad. Although DICE released update 5.0 ahead of the new maps, there's still some bugs in the game, and I encounter some of them throughout the different sessions. You get slowdowns, you get some flickering from time to time. Sometimes there's some weird animation happening, or I encounter a lot of lag, which is kind of surprising. I do have great internet, the fastest internet possible, and I still encounter it more than before, even more than other times. And I play all the time, so I don't know if it has something to do with the servers or the people that are playing, but definitely I encounter a few of them, and they were kind of bothersome. Of course, because they take you away from the experience. You are playing the experience. Everything looks so neat and gorgeous, and all of a sudden there's some weird bug happening. So definitely I feel that they need to update some of that. That's something that we encounter a lot with Battlefield. It's something normal. but you know, it shouldn't be the norm. You know, you want things to kind of, you know, the frame also to be kept at the same level. I don't know if there was some frame drop, but I noticed that there were times that I felt the frame drop, and I play on console, so I imagine that for PC players it's a different experience. They can notice it even more than I can do on my console. Now, it's important to point out that your experience in the game, it's linked and depends heavily on your squad mates. If you're playing with a seasoned team, people that know what they're doing, you're gonna have a lot of fun. But if you're playing with a lot of noobs, a lot of people that they just got into the game, definitely that can limit that experience, and it can be frustrating at times. Now, on the 31st, when it was released, I had a lot of fun. A lot of people were playing this. People are seasoned players. People have been playing Battlefield for quite some time. So it was fun. You know, everybody knew exactly what they were doing. Everybody was testing the new weapons, but you already have an idea. Now, throughout the weekend, of course, because of the free trial, there were a lot of newcomers, a lot of people that don't have much experience, but of course they heard about the game, they want to try the game, and they're playing the game in a totally different level. You know, many of them are not following directions, they're not really taking the sections, they're not they're just playing. In most cases they have this mindset of other games, whether it's Call of Duty and so on. So definitely that really hurts the experience a bit. I wouldn't say that it's bad, but definitely it's good when you're playing with people that know what they're doing. You're gonna notice that. I think after the trial ends, so throughout the week, of course, now that we're going back to normal, you're gonna see that people are really invested into it, and maybe newcomers that really want to put the time on it. And then you're going to see that people that are going to be, I would say, follow orders or do what they're supposed to do. And that, is, of course, is going to make the experience a lot smoother. Another thing that people are complaining, and that's something that I don't complain much because I'm not really an aircraft pilot. I really don't pilot much in Battlefield. I never really cared much for it. I do from time to time, but it's not necessarily something that I really care much about. But a lot of people are complaining that the airplanes have been nerfed down, and of course now things like the Fliegerfoss are killing a lot of planes. So definitely, of course, pilots are going to complain. But in my opinion, I think it's kind of good because sometimes some of those planes were too overpowered and there was no mechanism to defend them. But at the same time, I have to see it from the perspective of people that are been piloting for quite some time. That you don't want weapons to be nerfed down necessarily, just to balance or give benefit poor players, people that don't know how to defend or how to counterattack those type of weapons or those type of vehicles. But definitely I feel that that's another thing, and I pointed that out because I know some people find that dissatisfying. Now I want to share this, and perhaps this is more like a nitpick from my part rather than a problem with the game. Now, when playing the game, like I said before, when you're landing at the beach, it's an amazing experience. It's just so inspiring, breathtaking. But definitely I felt at times that it would have been so nice to see more bodies at the beach, more people, more players. Yes, it might be more chaotic, but definitely you had given a more sense of realism to the whole experience. But at the end, we have to remember that the max count that you can have in a Battlefield game is 32 versus 32, 64 players at a time, which is the largest you get in Battlefield. And it's been for years. So I feel that it's time maybe to increase that count, particularly in bigger maps. It would make the experience even more enjoyable. It is it requires an engineering change of the entire game, but definitely I feel that perhaps not for this game, but perhaps for the future of Battlefield to see more players in each section. If Call of Duty Modern Warfare is doing it through ground war, they're able to go over 100 players at a time. What's stopping Battlefield to really increase that count, particularly with Battlefield has always really praised itself, or people praise it because it's the all-out type of war where I think it's time for Battlefield to kind of change that. Not saying that the game is not enjoyable or chaotic at the time every time, but I feel that it is time really to increase the count so the experience is even more chaotic, but at the same time more realistic. In conclusion, I definitely had a lot of fun with this new update. The Pacific War, the two maps, the Iwo Jima and in this case Pacific Island, are fantastic. They're different, but they're fantastic. And in my opinion, Iwo Jima at this point is the most classic, but at the same time, the most enjoyable, and also a breath of fresh air for this game. You know, for the entire last year, we were dealing with a lot of frustration, lack of maps, lack of the content that people wanted. Yeah, there were a lot of weapons, there were some skins, there were this and that, but definitely the historical events were not there, or at least the ones that are more well known. And the fact that Iwo Jima, which is definitely a historical battle that is really well known, not only through American history, through world history, through the worldly events or the events of World War II. Also, as part of Hollywood, so many movies had, really recreated the events. Definitely, it's important that it is here, and is really cementing the hegemony, in this case, of Battlefield on top of this type of games, of this big battlefields. And definitely, in my opinion, it pays off really well. They did a fantastic job. Right now, there is a package, I think is year 1, year 2, where actually you can buy everything. If you haven't played the game and you want to start, definitely, if you don't want to really have to unlock a lot of stuff, because throughout the year, of course, we got a lot of weapons, a lot of skins, you can get that package, and definitely you can get all the stuff, and you can be up to speed. Of course, you got to level up your weapons, which are plenty, but you're going to have fun. In my opinion, this is return to form for Battlefield. This is the best map so far. While, for example, Operation Underground is more close quarters, and it's definitely a good close quarters type of map. This is a more open space, a breakthrough, conquest mode. Definitely, it's something that you're going to see that really plays so well in the formula created by Battlefield. And I really had a lot of fun, and I'm gonna be playing this game. Stay tuned for my review of Pacific Island next, but definitely have a lot of fun. But what is your opinion? What do you think about the game? Have you tried it? Have you, tried any of these new maps? Are you still on the fence? Are you playing Modern Warfare, so you don't have time for this? Let me know in the comments below. I would like to hear it. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. God bless, and I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.